Welcome back to Roots and Restorations. It's been a little while again.
Right. We had good intentions and wanted to upload more, but then it didn't happen.
We stalled out again, and so the last time we stalled out was winter, which we talked about in a previous video. It was just really cold and not a whole lot happened. But then after winter, the rains came.
Yes, it was dry for a while, and then we decided to prune our pear trees and our grapes, and then, the rain came. Big storms.
Yeah, so probably in the last video that you saw us, we were pruning grapes and pears and all that stuff. And then we had a big storm for about a week, which we couldn't do very much during that time, outside at least. But once that cleared up, we had some dry days.
Once the rain stopped and the ground dried up a bit, the tractor came by and plowed the entire land and evened it out, ready for planting.
Yeah, and that was our first ever plowing of the land, because this is our first season here. And that was pretty interesting to see because, it took them about 2 hours and just going back and forth, and forth. It was interesting. And then the birds came out to get all the worms.
Yes, that was real funny. It was full with birds.
Yeah, so after that, the people that are also working on the land with us came out and planted a bunch of onions.
Yes.
And we also
got
planted.
Onions. Way more than we originally thought that we were going to plant. But hey, onions are very versatile. You can use them a lot. And they last very long if you store them well. So I think we're going to be fine if all of the onions will grow and get us a harvest.
Yeah, and speaking of stuff that we did kind of outside, we also finished up the greenhouse area that we were preparing because we wanted to get our seedlings in the ground. Well, not the ground, but into the pots and start growing them in the little seed trays.
Yeah.
So we worked on that.
And that is now finished. We put a lot of pavers in that we had bought for a different project, but we decided to not use them there and that they were more useful in the greenhouse. So we put all those pavers in. It was a bit of a puzzle to decide which pattern we wanted to have. But now they're there, and we put on plastic as a roof, which took 2 attempts, but I think it's working really well now.
Well, that was my own fault. I put it on right before a storm came because I wasn't thinking, and then it wasn't tied down quite tight enough, so water started to pool in the plastic, and then it ripped. But it didn't rip so badly that we couldn't use it, so we reattempted, and we did a bit more thoughtful construction, so to say, and it came out fine. It's working now, and you have your little seedlings.
Yeah.
We built a table for your
to a work table where
work
I
table.
can repot things and start seeds in the seed trays, and it's actually working really well. There's enough light, but not direct sunlight because of the plastic. It's like dappled, and not so strong, so I think that's really good. And the temperatures are starting to warm up now too.
Yeah, so when we put the tiles down, we also cleaned out 3 of the rooms where we can store wood and we can store firewood and like construction wood, or like kind of the old beams that we took out of the building above because we put in a new floor in the workshop. So we have been pretty busy outside. In terms of all of the plants. We are ready to plant. That'll probably be the next video or two of us actually planting. We did plant a bunch of potatoes.
A lot of potatoes.
About 300 potatoes.
Something like that. I didn't count them, but there's a lot. And we also prepared the bed, but that will also, as another
be in
video.
a future video, yeah.
And then inside, we did a bit of work. We decided that we were going to start working in the mudroom, as we call it, which is like the space between the bathrooms and the hallway of the main house. And that's where we decided to take off the plaster.
Yeah, so we took off a plaster wall to get it back to brick, and not brick, but the stone, the original stone building, which is the original house. And I'm quite satisfied with that. It looks really cool. The next step there would be to point it, but we are waiting on the roofs, which I did clean, and it looks much better. But we've stalled out because, you can explain.
I can explain. Who can I? It's a long story because there's like multiple conversations involved with different people that we had. Conversations that we had with different people. We talked to some people who live here in town who said they had some information about the house. And we then eventually decided to talk to an architect to get some more information about construction here in Portugal and really what the rules are and what you can and what you cannot do. And that kind of opened
a whole can of worms, so to say.
I mean, so it's a can of worms, but also a whole different side that we
are still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
So we have a neighbor in our town who was one of their friends was interested in buying this property, the house that we have, and they said it was on a historic registry, which would change whether or not you could do certain construction within it, because you might have to keep it exactly the same. So they said they worked with an architect and gave us the information, and so we went and had a meeting with this woman and told her our concerns, and she went to the local camera, which is like the local government, to get those questions answered.
Yeah.
And two things that we found out. Two were good, one was not so good. So one thing was it's not on a register, so we don't have to worry about like that side of building and construction. Another thing is we can take down our massive chimney, which you'll actually see because I took down an antenna, which was a bit of work, but the chimney is much bigger and behind it. So that was another project. We took down this massive like TV antenna from like, I mean, it used to be analog TV, so people would get receivers. I took that down, and behind it you can see the giant chimney that we want to take down. We can take it down.
Yeah, and you don't even need an official project for that. You just need to inform your local council that you're going to do that. You need to inform them a certain time in advance, like 5 work days, and then you can do it as long as you do it safely and properly.
Yeah, so that's the safely and properly thing is where things are getting confusing for us, and why we've also kind of slowed down on the bathrooms, because we were told by the architect, and we'll have to verify this in the future and really get more information, but basically she said you can't really do DIY in Portugal, that everything that's being done needs to be done through a legitimate company, and like a certified company that's fully listed, has a contractor and construction. So that complicates things, because we've seen so many other people online and in groups just doing their own stuff, which on the one hand it kind of makes sense, because if you're not actually a contractor, or you don't really know construction, you might not know the right load that a roof can hold and like the walls and stuff, and you don't have the right codes, because in the bathroom that we were going to redesign, she says it has to be in reliant with handicaps.
Accessibility. It's a new law. I don't know when it got implemented. But there is a law that if you change the layout of a current bathroom, then it needs to be in compliance with the rules, where it has to be wheelchair accessible.
Right. So that's
which then changes the entire
layout potentially,
because that has to go through an architect, and you have to actually write up a plan to make sure.
Then you need like blueprints and stuff
to make sure you follow the rules.
So it's getting a little complicated. That's a whole story in itself if we wanted to go into more detail, because that's the surface level stuff.
If you guys want to hear more about that, then like leave us know in a comment. We can talk more about it. I think it's a very interesting thing, because online you don't hear anybody talk about permits, paperwork, asking permission, and that kind of stuff. So it's very fascinating.
So we're going to be navigating that to see how much we can do on our own, which wouldn't require an actual contractor, and what we actually have to do to get a contractor. And a couple other things that if we wanted that video we could talk about, because some of our other plans actually strangely, or maybe not strangely, but need an actual project. So we can discuss that in a future video. Besides that, we did a lot of other things. What else did we do? A lot of the things that we did were what I would consider very small projects. So like around this patio that we're sitting on, there was some leaking, so I put a small ledge of concrete to keep the water from leaking down, which, if you remember, at the beginning of the bathroom saga at this point, we went under the house and saw that the wall had crumbled, and the reason it was crumbling was because the water was coming from the patio, dripping down through this gap. So I finally sealed that up with some concrete, and we'll eventually get some
sealant to cover the
like
whole...
the silicone stuff that you put on.
Yeah, to cover the whole patio areas, to make it drier and to...
Actually waterproof it,
and
so to say.
Yeah, waterproof it.
So that it can actually just go out the drains. That another project that we did a long time ago, if you remember.
Yeah.
We've done a lot so far, and a lot of it is little stuff, like I said, that we didn't feel like it was really worth filming, or for me personally, I just wanted to kind of do it and didn't want to get the whole camera out and do it. With the whole like, hey guys, I'm putting concrete around my, you know what I mean? But we will probably, hopefully moving forward, because we've realized one of the reasons we haven't been putting out videos is because I am doing a lot of little stuff that doesn't merit an entire video.
No.
So we might start doing like weekly vlogs in the sense of this is what we did this week, and it might not be.
Well, that
like
is not a full
project.
project because everything. Yeah, we do so many little things. So, we might just film a week and all the little things that we do, and at the end of the week we put it all together in one video, so you can see all the different things that we are doing. And then once a project is finished, or we're working on it for
If
a
project is ever finished.
longer time, an extended period of time, in a couple of days, then it might be a project video. But yeah, we're still new and like to all of this, and still figuring out how to best film everything and
get it uploaded in a regular, consistent way. So I think weekly vlogs is what we might try to push towards, and just show little vlogs here and there. Like, I did get my pressure washer out and do the towels, but it's not a whole video because I'm not done with the work that needs to be done up there. So maybe just week by week we show you all the little stuff that we're working on. Plus Yvonne's been working a lot online, so that's been slowing us down a little bit also. But
that takes up almost
most of their mornings.
Yeah, almost all of my mornings, and then it's already lunchtime before I can get going again.
And for me, I'm like, I just want to do stuff, so I start doing it, and then she's like, "Are you filming?" I'm like, "Ah." But we'll get on it, and I'm excited for this year. I mean, it's already 4 months in; it's already April, but we'll get some videos up. We'll show you the land, and I'm excited to continue.
How it goes.
Yeah. Hopefully, you guys are excited to see what we're doing, and you'll follow along. If you aren't subscribed yet.
Yeah, make sure to do that. Like this video, share it, leave a comment, do all the things, because that will help us
grow and keep us motivated and keep us going. So, hope to see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye-bye.